Question is, halfway through the season, who's the hammer of the year? Right, well, it could be Antonio by a long shot. I mean, he hasn't played that many games. But, he's come back really strong, hasn't he? And he looks really good and he looks really hungry. So, if he keeps going in that vein, he will be hammer of the year, I would say. But, the guy who's played the most games is Rice. I mean, he does look good. I know he's had some bad days. Not so good, well, a bit quiet games. So, but he's still up there in the running. I think he's been our most consistent player. And then I like Snodgrass, He's another hard worker, isn't he? He comes on, gives 110%, I think. Sometimes he's a bit sloppy, but I mean, he's always giving his heart. So, I like Snodgrass. I think he can do a lot for the side, and I like his grit and determination. Even Cresswell, he's done well. I think he's becoming a better player. Personally, I think. I know people moan about him on Twitter and during the game, and say things about him, but I think he's much better than Masuaku. And he scored 3 goals this season. So he's not doing too bad, is he? He's a bit of a dark horse coming in there. And, just, this is a real long shot, this. I mean, he'd have to go some. But at 4-0, he's looking better to me. He's looking better and growing in a bit in confidence. Shooting. Got to sort his shooting out. Because I think he's in a couple of games, he could have got us a goal. But he's looking better, which is really good. But I think the front runner at the minute is Antonio for hammer of the year. And but I suppose, out of all those people I have said, it would be Antonio at the minute. I think he's made a difference to the side, and he's giving it more energy, more urgency, and actually a real passion to sort of think, well, we're going to go on and win this. Some grit and determination, which is what I like to see. So he gets my vote, Antonio. Just leaves me enough seconds to say, look, have a nice Christmas. Hey, eat loads, drink few, and let's hope the Irons can do it for us on Boxing Day and beat Palace. Hey, it'd be lovely if we could. And let's hope he plays 4-4-2, because Antonio and Haller up front, woohoo, I thought they looked good. So take it easy. Again, Merry Christmas to you all. Come on, you Irons, up the hammers.
Hey guys, it's Tyler here from American Hammers TV. I was asked a question of who will be my hammer of the year so far midway through the season. And I'd probably have to say Angelo Ogbonna. I think at the beginning of the season, I honestly didn't know what would become of him. I thought he was kind of replaced by Diop. But now I think he's definitely one of the first names that you have to put on the team sheet. He's kind of a staple right now in a very rocky back four. He's put a couple great shifts in, and I think if we're going to get the season turned around, he's one of the players that have started, the trend of, not really being absent for any games. I know obviously it's a team sport and everything, but he's definitely done his part so far. You have a couple injuries to a couple other big name players, which is unfortunate. Antonio, obviously now Felipe. Even though, to be fair, Felipe hadn't really been doing too much when he was fit. Um, so we'll see. I mean, thankfully, Allaire, I know he hasn't done too much since the beginning of the season, but thankfully he hasn't been hurt either. But yeah, I'd say right now, Ogbonna would have to be my hammer of the year.
Right, well, my hammer of the year so far, if I had to choose right now, would be Antonio, to be honest with you. I know he's been injured for quite a lot of the season, but his impact when he is fit is unquestionable. For me, the only reasons why we won against Chelsea and against Southampton was his impact and, the way he played and the way he bodied the opposition. Second, that would be Bonner, and I think he was unfairly dropped for the team. It's probably been his best season he's ever had for us so far. And but it's just impact wise, Antonio just has done more, has scored more goals, and he's that bit of grit determination that we need, because Bonner can play at the back, but it doesn't mean to say we're going to get a result with him there. Scored a couple of goals as well himself, but for me, Antonio just has that raw edge that we need this season to get any sort of result. Without him, we seem to be totally void of ideas, and we seem half a team. So for me, it's Antonio so far.
Who has been my Hammer of the Year so far? Difficult one to decide, to be honest with you. Rice has been very consistent, albeit a few games where he's actually screwed up. Antonio has been an absolute beast, as we've all been saying, over the last few games, of course. Fornals is really coming into his own over the last few games. You've seen the start about Chelsea away. He started to look really good. Very, very impressed with how he's been getting on. But for me, just almost into halfway through the season, it's a tough call. It really, really is a tough call. But I have to say, it's Ogbonna for me. He's really infuriated me over the last few seasons, but had a very good run towards the end of last season. Was only dropped at the start of the season, according to a few rumours, that Pellegrini thought he felt sorry for Balbuena. Only having one start at the start of the season, which is the Man City home game. There's also a rumour coming out that he dropped Ogbonna because he wanted Balbuena, who's right-footed, and Diop, who's left-footed, to play together. But for whatever reason, I mean, Ogbonna, as far as I'm concerned, as infuriating as he can get, Ogbonna hasn't put a foot wrong for me this season so far. I hope he continues that to the end of the season, because if he does, we're going to need it. We're going to stay up if he does. But at the same point, more importantly, I think that he deserves it over the last year or so. Before he had that back surgery a couple of seasons ago, he was immense. After having that surgery, when we were okay to stay up, then he had a bit of a shaky season before last. But this season he's absolutely come into his own. He really, really has come into his own, and it was continuing on how he was getting on with the end of last season as well. So for me, it's definitely Angelo. As infuriating as he can be, he is one of our best, if not the best player so far over the 16, 17 games we've had so far.